Do my best to show you how to do a data representation. But first of all, if I were taking the Science ACT, I would flip through the booklet and I would try to identify what each passage is. This one is data representation because if you'll see, it's got a couple of charts and tables here. This one looks as though it's a data representation because you see the charts. But when I see the words study 1, study 2, and study 3, I know this one is actually a research summary, and I'll get to that kind in a moment. This one is data representation because not a lot of information in passages, only data. This one is what we're going to call the conflicting viewpoints or debating scientists, and you can see how it identifies some different things that are happening and what students believe about that. The next one looks like data representation when I see the charts, but when I look a little closer, I see study 1, study 2, study 3. So that is a research summary passage, and we'll come back to it. And then the last one has experiment 1, experiment 2. So again, that's research summary. So what I want to focus on this first one is what I would do when I see a representation. And I'm going to kind of zoom in here so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If I open up this passage, I'm not going to investigate all the data. I'm just going to look for some different things in these charts. I want to try to look for some locators so that when I go to the questions, I know what I'm looking for. So if I was doing this one, I would circle table 1 and figure 1 because in a moment when I look at the questions, it's going to tell me exactly where to go. Then I just want to kind of take a look at the numbers and see how they're trending. I notice as I go through temperature, these are all the same. I'm looking at viscosity at 30 minutes, 75 minutes, and 120 minutes. One thing I notice on this other chart is that I have viscosity and I also have viscosity. So since viscosity happens on both tables, I would call this a data link. It's a way that if I want to find temperature compared to gum concentration, I can go through something that's like, I can bridge the gap there through viscosity. The other thing that I'm going to notice is maybe if there's any trends in the numbers. I see these are getting smaller, way smaller here. Nothing really too big that I can identify. Here I notice that these aren't necessarily going up by the same amount each time. And then this is 1, 2, and 3. So once I kind of look at that, then I want to go over and investigate the questions. And this is going to be a little bit hard to do with it being online, but we'll just do the best we can. I'll kind of show you how I would do this. So this first question says based on table 1. So as I read that, I'm going to go put my finger on table 1 because I know that's where I'm going to find the answer. ACT is good about that. They tell you on the science portion where you're going to find your answer. So based on table 1, which of the following graphs best compares the viscosity of 1% aqueous solution mixture at 45 degrees Celsius and a resting time of 75 minutes? So I want to go to 45 minutes. 45 degrees Celsius, resting time 75 minutes. So it looks like 45 degrees, 75 minutes. I'm looking here, 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 and here. And I actually go ahead and put the pencil to the paper. So it looks like the highest one is W. So as I'm reading through the answers, I see that this is going to be out and this one's going to be out. And I actually make marks on those. So W is the highest. And then the smallest is, it looks like Z. So that would have to be this answer choice. And I'm not going to go through how to find each answer, but just give you some hints here. So the next one, based on table 1. So again, I'm going to find my information out of this table. I don't even need to look at the second table. If 1% aqueous mixture of gum Y is allowed to sit at rest for 100 minutes at 65 degrees Celsius, well, if you notice, there is no 100 minutes here. So I'm going to have to do what's called interpolation. I'm going to find an answer within an answer that's already there. So I won't ever find 100 minutes in my question, so I'll have to go between these two. So 100 minutes at 65 degrees for gum Y. So it's got to be in between 1600 and 2200. Okay, let's look at the next question. Consider the viscosity shown in figure 1. So this time I'm going to look at figure 1 and go from there. But what I really wanted you to see is in these questions, it'll say, look at figure 1. Here, under the conditions based figure 1. So it tells you exactly where to go. Based on table 1. And then under the conditions that are for figure 1. The other thing you might see is it might tell you in the passage. And then you would know to go read the little short bit. Okay, again, this is a very hard thing to test people in an online class, but you might want to look at this. I've got the file linked here. Maybe if you gained anything from this video, what I want you to do is just, your key here was to watch the video and give me 1 to 2 sentences of a reflection over this. You might want to skip through and try another data representation for yourself. So skip over to the passage. That looks like this. Passage 3 would be data representation. And then if you want to find answers, you're welcome to do that. You would just look up Google ACT A10 and you can find the answers to this particular passage, or you can email me and I can get those for you. All right, so your assignment now is just to go through and give me a 1 to 2 sentence reflection over data representation.